Right over here? All right. They will square off again April 12th in Las Vegas, and after a press conference in Los Angeles on Wednesday, both fighters flew to New York yesterday. The men met with the media downtown and were all smiles for the most part as they get set for what many believe has Fight of the Year possibilities. Pacquiao also swung by the set of Olbermann on Thursday night and stressed how important it was for him to get his belt back after losing their first fight in one of the most controversial decisions in big fight history. Here are those scorecards from the first fight in June of 2012. Nearly everyone who saw the fight had Pacquiao winning, although two judges disagreed, and that's all it takes. Those two judges, C.J. Ross and Dwayne Ford, no longer judge fights. After that decision, a couple of quotes. "I did my best," Pacquiao said. "I guess my best wasn't good enough. I didn't think he was as good as everyone says he was. I didn't feel his power," Bradley said, "and I'm going to make a lot of money on the rematch, but this was outrageous." That's Bob Arum, the fight promoter. Here are both fighters yesterday talking about the rematch, and we'll start with Bradley.
Manny knows that this is do or die for him. And if Manny doesn't win this fight, Manny's career can be over. So this is a must-win situation for Manny Pacquiao. I've already beat him once. This fight is for the fans. This fight is for redemption, to get the credit that I didn't get in the first fight because people felt I didn't win. That's all that's about with me. With him, he has to prove, he has to come earn that title. He got to come earn it back. And it's the end of the road if he doesn't.
Many people didn't think you beat Manny Pacquiao, as you know. What do you have to do this time around to convince them otherwise?
I can't have any negativity or thought about judges. I have to be thinking about what the heck I'm doing in the ring. And I have to worry about what, eliminating what Pacquiao's trying to do to me in the ring. I can't be worrying about judges. I mean, of course, you don't want to have 3 judges from the Philippines judging the fight, but I want a fair out this time. I want it fair. I want everybody to be happy with the decision, and I need a decisive win or a knockout.
What did you think of Manny Pacquiao's victory over Brandon Rios?
I didn't see that fire that you normally see with Pacquiao, where he gets a guy hurt and he finishes him. He really goes for the kill. Didn't see that. I saw a very compassionate Pacquiao who was like, I got this fight won. I'm just gonna coast it and just win the fight. That's what I saw.
You're not much of a trash talker, and yet you said you wanted to hurt Bradley. Why are you talking smack now for this fight?
I just say that it's a challenge to me to bring it back, the killer instinct and the aggressiveness, because he told me in my face that you don't have the killer instinct anymore and you don't have aggressiveness. So it's kind of a challenge to me to get it back, that aggressiveness and killer instinct.
So what happens if you lose to Bradley? I know you said if you lost to Rios, you'd probably retire. Will you walk away if you lose your next fight?
I heard that in the last fight with Brandon Rios. I'm not thinking negative. I always think positive. And I believe that God will guide me and strengthen me in this fight.
Well, staying with the positive theme, Pacquiao landed 82 more power punches than Bradley did in their first fight, and he threw over 100 more. That's the reason so many thought that Pacquiao won decisively. Floyd Mayweather has decided to let his fans vote on who he fights next. However, there are only 2 fighters on the ballot, and neither of them are the man everyone would truly like to see him fight. Floyd Mayweather tweeting out on February 2nd, "I'm going to let the fans vote. Tell me who I should fight next, Khan or Maidana." What do you think? Well, the glaring omission from Floyd's Twitter vote is, of course, Manny Pacquiao, which brings me to this. I had a chance yesterday to sit down with Pacquiao's promoter, Bob Arum, and I asked him what it will take to finally get Mayweather to agree to fight Manny, and this was his response.
Don't you understand why the Mayweather-Pacquiao fight can't and won't happen? Listen, I promoted Mayweather for over 10 years. The one thing I learned during that period is that Mayweather doesn't like to fight, doesn't want to fight a southpaw. Why? Because his whole style defensively is geared for a right-handed fighter. And to compound that, if the southpaw is really fast and moves, that would give Mayweather and his style a lot of trouble. And it would really jeopardize Mayweather's record as an undefeated fighter. That's why the fight is not happening. Because, I mean, this is almost like before the Second World War. You know, Hitler wanted this and Hitler wanted that, and if you gave him this, then peace would occur. But it was never enough. It was never enough, because Hitler's dream was to go to war and conquer all of Europe, if not the world. Now, Mayweather's dream is to stay undefeated. So whatever you give him, if Manny agreed to fight for nothing, it wouldn't be enough. Don't you understand that?
The less I say about that, the better, but we'd love to hear what you have to say. Post a comment on our Friday night Facebook page or tweet me your thoughts at Grisham ESPN. Coming up next week, Huntington, New York prospect